The research station. I signed up for the Mars Xenobiology exchange program for one reason: to get away from Earth. Life back home was a cluttered mess of student debt, failed relationships, and corporate drone work. So when they offered me a one-year stint on Virelia 9, a newly charted exoplanet in the Andromeda sector, I jumped on it faster than you can say, escape velocity. Virelia 9 was beautiful if eerie. Towering black trees with bioluminescent leaves stretched across most of the landscape, glowing like the northern lights. The planet had oxygen-rich air, Earth-like gravity, and a 30-hour day. But the biggest selling point: intelligent life, sort of. The Virelians were reclusive humanoids with pale blue skin, digitigrade legs, and eyes that shimmered like moonlight. They rarely interacted with our team, and we were explicitly told not to approach them without permission. "Observe only," the mission commander, Dr. Kean, said during orientation. "Respect their space." I was assigned to the Northern Ridge Outpost, a two-man station on the edge of their territory. My partner, Dr. Emily Roche, was a linguist and Virelian cultural specialist. She was also infuriatingly by the book. "You're not here to make friends," she'd remind me as I stared too long at the trees or wandered a little too close to Virelian paths. "Just gather atmospheric samples, monitor biosigns, and record anomalies." But boredom is a powerful drug. So when I saw the lone Virelian girl in the woods, tall, cloaked in silver fur, crouching by a pool, I did the one thing I wasn't supposed to. I approached. Part 2, the imprint. She saw me before I even got close. Her eyes locked onto mine, wide and luminescent, and then something snapped. I felt it, an electric jolt that ran down my spine like a silent thunderclap. Then she was gone. I stumbled back to the station, heart pounding. I didn't tell Emily. What would I say? "Hey, I just mind-melded with a werewolf-looking alien girl in the woods. Is that cool?" Because that's what she looked like. A cross between a human, a wolf, and something celestial. The Virelians were already known for their shape-shifting abilities, but this was different. More primal. The next day, I woke to the scent of lavender and rain. That's not poetic metaphor. I literally smelled lavender and rain in my quarters. And when I opened the door, she was there. She tilted her head, eyes still locked on mine. She didn't speak, but her expression said everything. "I found you." "Hey, hi," I stammered. "You're not supposed to be here." She blinked slowly. Then, without a word, she walked past me into the station. "Emily's gonna kill me," I muttered. Emily did, in fact, freak out. But when she tried to usher the girl out, the Virelian bared her teeth, just enough to show a glint of fangs, and let out a low growl. "She's imprinted on you," Emily said later, rubbing her temples. "It's a bonding process, rare among Virelians. They choose a mate or guardian by locking eyes during a specific phase of their lunar cycle. You accidentally bonded." "Great," I muttered. "So she's like a space werewolf and I'm her, what? Pet?" "More like bonded partner. She'll follow you everywhere now. Sleep near you. Protect you. And if you leave, she'll probably go feral." Part 3, Life with Lyra. That was how I learned her name, Lyra. She never spoke English, but somehow she understood everything I said. Her emotions were vivid and wild. Curiosity, jealousy, joy, even mischief. She'd chase off Virelian scouts who came too close to our camp, and once she ripped a drone out of the sky with a single leap. I tried keeping her hidden, but eventually the higher-ups found out. Instead of sending me home, they put us under Observation Protocol Alpha, a fancy way of saying, "We're watching to see if this becomes a problem." But she was a problem. A beautiful, deadly, fiercely loyal problem. One night, she dragged me out of bed during a storm. I thought she was panicking, but no. She led me to a cave system in the cliffs behind the outpost. Inside were ancient carvings, glowing softly with bioluminescence. Wolves, moons, and pairs. Always two figures, one humanoid, one Verilian. She's showing you the Bond Cave, Emily said over comms. It's ceremonial. This is sacred stuff. You're not just her bonded, she thinks you're destined. Destined for what? I whispered. But I already knew. This was no casual imprint. Lyra had chosen me, and according to her people's traditions, that was binding. Forever. Part 4: The Choice. As the Verilian lunar cycle approached again, Lyra became restless. She stopped eating. She paced constantly. Her fur shifted in color, from silver to dark violet. Emily theorized it was some kind of heat cycle, one that, if unfulfilled, could drive her mad. They don't do casual partnerships, Emily said. This isn't like a wolf imprint. This is a full-on psychic bond. If it's not reciprocated by the next cycle, she could lose herself. You mean die? Or worse, revert. Revert. Emily looked grim. Verilians have two forms, their humanoid one and their beast form. The beast is raw instinct. No speech, no memories. Just the bond. She'll live only to protect you, and she'll destroy anything else. We were days from the next cycle when the storms hit. A massive electrical surge knocked out the comms. The station went dark. That's when the mercs came. A rogue mining group, probably from one of the Belt colonies, thought they could steal Verilian tech. They had weapons, mechs, and no respect for alien life. They broke into the station at midnight. Emily tried to activate the distress beacon, but they shot her in the leg. I barely managed to drag her to the back room when I heard it. A howl. Not from outside. From inside. Lyra. She wasn't the same girl anymore. She towered over them, her fur black as space, her eyes glowing like burning suns. She moved like a hurricane, tearing through metal, glass, and bone. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. When the dust settled, 6 mercs were dead, 2 had fled, and Lyra stood over me, panting, covered in blood. She collapsed in my arms. I held her, whispering nonsense, just trying to keep her conscious. She looked at me, eyes softening, and in her native tongue, words I somehow understood, she whispered, "You are my moon." Part 5: Aftermath. Lyra recovered slowly. Emily and I patched her up, and when the main station sent reinforcements days later, I thought they'd separate us for sure. They didn't. Turns out, having a psychic bond with a powerful native species made me a diplomatic asset. Suddenly, I was no longer a low-tier biologist. I was ambassador consort to the Verilian matriarchal line. They gave me a title, a stipend, and a place in the Capitol Dome. Lyra took me to her people's heartland, deep in the jungle spires, and I saw the world through her eyes. We were treated like royalty. Lyra's bond had triggered an ancient prophecy among her people, one that foretold a union between their kind and ours. A blending of stars and soil. We didn't get married. Not exactly. Verilian ceremonies are more like soul mergings. But one night, under 3 moons, Lyra and I stood on a glowing cliff and carved our names into a crystal tablet older than Earth itself. I asked her once, "Did you choose me? Or was it fate?" She just smiled, placing her clawed hand over my heart. Same thing. Epilogue: The Howl Between Stars.